Meet The Mandem.
Like when I found out and then I was having the plan of 9 night, bro, for a good 10 days my head was hot, like super hot, like where you can't, like there's one point where I cried for like 10 hours straight on a Saturday.
Some people, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even just talking about exes,
That's good,
but some people can die and you're lost in my thoughts, bro. I'll be real. I can't lie. I can't even lie to you.
It sounds bad, but
100%.
Take the donkey to the water, but you can't make it drink.
There you go.
Bro, I say that every time.
Someone man, a few words.
Silently, and then you just come and add your 2 cents,
So
innit?
talk to the people then.
You want to do it, so let's do it. Don't lie. You know, honest to God, yeah. That I'm gonna say this to the Mandem, yeah. Don't come to me with certain stuff. Just do it, because you already know what's gonna happen. You get it?
Yes. We're back for another episode. My name is Montel.
My name's Taz.
Max.
And we've got a lovely guest here, our dear friend, Melissa, also known as Mel. Give her a round of applause, everyone. Yep. Soapbox Studios, big it up all the time.
Vibes.
Yeah, so today our topic is how do you deal with grief? So over the last couple of like months and especially weeks, a lot of our close people in our lives individually have passed away. Some most of them unexpected, I would like to say, but some coming through like over a period of a year and whatnot. But yeah, it's hard to like deal with grief, and we just want to just talk about that as a collective, really. And we're speaking to Melissa also, and Melissa also said that you said something nice about grief, that it doesn't always have to be related with people passing away.
Yeah, I feel like grief is a loss. You can grieve things that are sentimental to you. You can grieve lots of different things, and I feel like it's important to touch that. Even though it is a conversation about grief, the main conversation isn't just about death. It should be comfortable for you to use the word grief and still be able to bring up other feelings and emotions. But it does have a very powerful feeling around it. I think grief can really make you stronger sometimes.
I agree.
So yeah, I've got a lot of mixed emotions about grief.
Yeah. So the first question we got is like, what does grief mean to you? So like Max, like when we decided to do this topic, you was a bit more on a laid back vibes, and I get it, I understand and whatnot. But like, what for you? What does, when you have dealt with grief or when you're faced with it, what comes to mind for you personally?
Probably losing somebody that you're very close to. I mean, that's what I like connect grief with, if that makes sense. That's the only time I've really experienced grief, if I'm totally honest with you.
And how have you dealt with that personally?
Boy, I don't even know, you know. Like me, I'm the type of person that I don't really know how to talk about my emotions like that. So I keep myself to myself. You already know I am, do you know what I mean? So I have a little smoke, drink, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So do you feel like you find coping mechanisms like devices like smoking and drinking? I know, Taz, you used to say like music was your big advocate of always like getting through things. Do you feel like those devices help you get through things, or do you feel like you're just channeling it in a different environment?
I mean, some people they wake up Monday and they show up at school. I mean, some people.
I shouldn't laugh.
Nah, but it's reality.
It's reality.
Like, some people they. I mean, like,
show up at school. Like
some people drink alcohol from morning to night. Some people do drugs, but I guess my thing is just smoking my weed sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And what advice would you give to people who necessarily don't smoke or don't drink, or you know, because there's things can happen different. Some people gamble. Some people end up being creative in different ways. Or but let's say they're not connected to another device. What's a way for you that you think like how to get through it?
I mean, sometimes what helps me. Sometimes going to the gym helps a lot.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean? Like I remember when I was younger, I used to do boxing. That used to help me with a lot of stuff as well. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Being around friends and family, like people as well. Do you know what I mean? Being around loved ones, that helps as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, working a lot might help.
True.
What about you, Taz?
No, obviously going back to what do I think grief is? Yeah, my first association with grief is obviously the loss of someone close, death. But that's natural, innit? No one's really, in the first instant, no one's really gonna think like about what Melissa said when you really deep it. Like, even though it is a good point, like that grief is not just based around death. I think the main conception of grief obviously is unfortunately deaf. But yeah, so like I say, like you said, my coping mechanisms, music, being around people. Yeah, but you have to remember, everyone deals with things in a different way as well.
Yeah, it's true.
100.
So
It's true.
what might work for me might not work for somebody else. So I can't be a person to be like, oh yeah, go and do this and do this to get over it, because it might not work. Like I said, yeah, man.
Yeah, and like when you like had lost someone close to you, how did you find that those first like 2 weeks, for example? You know, how was that for you per se?
It didn't feel real,
Yeah.
bro. Like even now, it don't feel real. Like sometimes I feel like I'm just gonna see my nan sitting there, or she's gonna call the house phone, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like you see the first week, the first week was brazy, fam, because nobody calls my household other than her, innit?
Yeah.
And then like, so she died on the Wednesday, on the Friday, fam, the household's ringing. I'm thinking, what the fuck? So I've ran and I've gone to answer it, and I was like, oh shit, that was just broken down. But that's what I'm saying, like, and it's those little things as well that will just remind you of that person.
Yeah.
Like, it's brazy, bro. Obviously, it doesn't get better; it just gets easier, I guess.
Yeah, no, I had a similar thing literally like 3 days ago. It was so obviously like I was cleaning the house and stuff, and I saw Pops' wallet and that, and then we used to go cinema together all the time, like every 2 weeks, any film we just watch a movie together, and we have a Cineworld card, innit? So I had this wallet, and then I opened it, and then I saw the Cineworld card, and I realised like, bro, like, who am I gonna go cinema with? Like those small, come bro, love, but like those small, minute things that you associate people with, you realise it's not gonna be the same anymore, and like with grief, what I'm currently dealing with is this thing of when you're happy, you end up being sad because you're happy. That sounds mad, but like, let's say you're dealing with grief, yeah, and we're busting jokes, we're laughing. There'll be a split second, and you feel bad the fact that, why am I happy right now? I should be sad 24/7, but that's not how it works. Do you know what I'm saying? Grief doesn't work like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you can't constantly be sad. Like I remember I woke up the next day, 7 a.m. on a Thursday. I was like, life goes on. That is the scariest thing, that you're gonna remember them, but life goes on, and you're like, and then you have to ask questions. Why does it have to go? Why can't I just sit in this moment? But the world doesn't work that way. Do you know what I'm saying?
In this London economy.
In London, in these first, like, because in third world countries, what I love about where all the countries that we come from back home and they really celebrate, not, I wouldn't say death, but the life of someone. Like, things will stop. Do you know what I mean? Communities and families will come over, and 6, 7, 8 days, sometimes 2 weeks, people are just at your house and are just connecting with the person that did all morning. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I love about the generations before us, because some of them they still do that even when they're in London. But us, because we're so tied to work, getting money, what's current, staying on top of things. But no, we're in tune I feel like we're in tune in our mental health, but are we really, or do we just know about it because that topic is no longer taboo? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, man. What about yourself, Melissa? Like, how do you feel like you deal with grief in a sense?
I feel like generally negative feelings, especially grief, I make jokes. Like I'll be very real with you. Like I find ways to cope with it by just
Busting jokes.
Like it, because if I can't feel, it just depends on where I'm at in my life. I feel like, especially when I lost my granddad, I wasn't really at a time where I could afford to feel that grief, because it would have set me back a lot. That's not good, because it means that I haven't dealt with some things, but it's the only way I knew how to cope at that time. And to do that, my mechanism was to make jokes out of it.
Yeah.
Not harmful jokes, or
can I say
just,
something? Sorry to cut you, but it's funny like Melissa said that, because what do we always say? We always like,
yeah, we laugh at everything.
we laugh in the most, like when the man I'm going through the maddest stuff.
You have to, like, if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that was hard for me though. I can't lie. When I got to that stage in life where I was able to do that, my granddad's death hit hard. And because of where I was at the time, I was pregnant with my daughter, and it was literally a couple days before she was supposed. Well, actually, it was supposed to be the day that I was supposed to be induced. So there would have been a very negative memory against my daughter's birthday that I just missed, and I feel like God had me for that because I love my granddad, but that for me, I don't think
you
would
have
have been.
You have to protect your
100%.
You're reminded of that every year.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like, obviously at that time, I felt like he was fighting. I just felt like, because of COVID and everything, he just got tired of fighting. Just gave up on life.
Yeah, man.
Because he had nothing to look forward to.
That's the thing.
And yeah, grief brought up a lot of emotions. When my granddad died, it brought up a lot of emotions about, you know, how to feel and things like that. And I feel like that kind of helped me be more in tune with my feelings, because I had to think to myself, like, Mel, this is not the time for you to feel like this, but you can still go through that. Do you get it? I keep thinking that one day she's going to creep up on me, and it hasn't.
Bro, it's scary. Like, voice notes as well, all things like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, going back and hearing their voice. Just know that
My nan didn't want a phone, fam.
Huh?
My nan didn't want a phone, so
them ones. But like I'm dealing with this thing. Like I've got the phone where I can hear voice notes and stuff, and I'm scared to play it. Like I want to hear their voice again, but like you just know if you click that, it just gonna
trigger.
Bro, imagine hearing the person that you've lost just say your name again. Do you know how like weird that would feel? And I've seen videos of like on TikTok and stuff like that when people buy like teddies or like those things and they squeeze it and then the person speaks to them and people just break down instantly because it stems like a trigger. And I'm just like, bro, like you're not gonna see this person for a while, you know, and what you do with that is gonna be yeah man. But I think it's also important to have a support system. Like 100. You know, I'm happy to know that everyone, whoever's lost anyone recent, everyone on this pod has been there, and like just even if it's a vocal support or words of love, of kindness and passion, or just being there, like I'm with you, even if you haven't experienced it, just know that people are dead for guidance is a really nice thing, because it's so easy to feel like you're alone.
100.
So easy. I think that's another emotion. You feel lonely so quick. Like you could be in a room full of so many people and you're just like
zoned out. And
See, it's mad because I prefer to be alone when I'm going through stuff.
Bro, but I think it's mad.
That's probably the only way I can deal with it, like properly, like just being alone.
Then you gotta deep it first, and then
But do you feel like do you feel like you need to like question things or like just vocalize it or talk about it? Does that help you? No.
Have you tried?
Huh?
Have you tried?
No.
Then you don't know. Okay.
Also, I don't know. It's probably better for me, isn't it?
But you know, when people talk about speaking about your feelings, you do not need to be speaking to someone. You can write, you can draw,
true.
There are ways that you can speak without having to speak, and I think you should try that, because I might find solace saying to my friend, you know what, I need to talk about my whatever, and that's me. You might say, I want to talk about this by writing a book. I want to talk about this by drawing, and that's still a way that you're writing. You need to find something to release.
Sorry, go on.
Go on.
I was gonna say like there's going on the back of that. There's people that go to smash plates and that.
Yeah, I want to do that though. You know, I want to do that.
Yeah, like, there's places where people go like they actually book tickets to go to this place and just smash up the place, man.
That'd be nice.
Just to let their rage out.
Exactly.
Obviously, like you said, you did boxing. Why don't you try that again?
True. Yeah, that's true.
Your boxing thing.
Yeah, but I'm not really grieving right now.
Okay,
yeah. I'm dead.
No, but it's true. I agree with you, because I think I do it by writing, because I wasn't necessarily a writer, but like I feel like when I couldn't, if I could speak about it, but I feel like I find myself just repeating myself or just saying things that I would just say to myself, like, yeah, it's okay. But then when you truly want to open up, for me, I feel like writing it down, or like for me, I write in forms of like plays. So I'll create a story, I'll create a character going through something similar that I will go through, and then navigate that, because then I can separate it from me and it being someone else. So so it's interesting that you said that, because I would do it through entertainment purposes, and some people just like speak and whatnot. Some people do music. That's why some of people's coldest tunes are when they just let the instrumental run and then they're just saying what's on their mind. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. It is.
Like do you not think, like, for example, like, how can I put this? Have you only experienced grief like when dealing with death? If that kind of makes sense. Or have you grieved over different things apart from that?
I've grieved over. That's a good question.
Because like, don't you think there's different types of grief?
Yeah.
That's what Mel was saying though. And I'm thinking, I didn't deep it until she said it, but I think so.
Yeah, because also a lot of things I'm thinking wrong. Like it makes
like,
sense. Because
grief is just a loss, by the way.
Like,
we associate it with death because it's a loss of a person.
Yeah.
What
Like,
greater death
it could be
than a loss of a
old
person, but you
friendship.
still
Old friendships,
Old
relationships. You could
job
grieve.
even
Job,
if that's your flex.
Where you are in your
I've never
life.
grieved a friendship.
No, but like where you on? Like, no, there was one that I felt bad. Like like Mill and stuff. Yeah, like
Oh, that's
yeah,
those
like you know what I'm
people.
saying. So like having a friend where you know them, and then but it's like any of you lot. If I know you, and then the next time I see you, you can look completely different, or like your lifestyle has completely changed. You would grieve that person because they're no longer the person that you knew. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that was a big thing as well. And then you battle with trying to help, but also protecting yourself.
100%.
Because at the end of the day, you got to protect yourself first, but then you feel bad for not going the extra mile. It's catch-22. But yeah. What about you guys? Any other different types of grief that you've experienced that isn't, losing someone?
Definitely friendships and relationships with people. Not a topic that I've not too many names I want to disclose, but I definitely have experienced some stuff that have led me to feel that sort of grief.
Yeah.
But I feel like it made me stronger. It made me want to push more. That feeling made me want to push more because.
But do you think though we have to go through these things in order to push more, or do you feel like
it depends on the person?
Because one of my friends, like, they sent me a lovely message, and then they quoted this like phrase. It was like, "Use this as rocket fuel," and I kind of like that because they were like, just rechannel the energy that you're feeling right now to go better. But my question is that does grief have to always do that? Do you know what I mean? Does grief always have to go, you know what, I'm going through this, so now I have to push harder? Like, why do I have to push harder in the first place? Why is that? Because I feel like that's a Western culture mindset also.
Yeah, why was he not already?
Yeah, why we're already going hard? Or contrarily, why do I have to, like, basically, why can't I just be like, I'm going through this, I'm done, and let it go through this emotion, let it land, and when it's simmered, I can move on and then continue with my life, like you said.
Because life moves at a pace that you can't explain. There is no time to feel grief because where we're living, especially in London, there's just no time for it.
Yeah.
Ideally, we would be feeling it and we would be reminiscing and having good times and crying and whatever your culture does, big up your culture, but we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
So the only way to deal with that is to find ways to deal with that. Do you get it? Because
I like that, what she said.
Drop it again. What was that? Drop it again.
No, that's not that.
No, that's fine. Like, think what I said.
Said find ways to deal with that.
But it's the truth. We like to make ourselves feel bad for things that we can't control, and I feel like that's a human thing.
Yes.
But especially a black thing, because I mean, I don't know about you lot's families, but for me, our family would probably associate grief with crying and things like that, and turn around and say, you're not believing in God or things like that, bring it back to other things, right? But there is no real reason to have to feel bad.
Yeah, true.
You can deal with multiple emotions at one time. You don't have to just feel grief or just feel pain or just feel sadness or just feel happy.
Yeah, it's true.
It all, you see when they do them circles and they put the circles, that's the way the human body works. And the mind, the only way to keep your mind healthy is to do that. I can't lie. Because if you start digging into those pots and saying, I'm just going to feel grief, how long until you can get yourself back out of there?
Yeah, facts.
It's a deep hole to get into. You got to just survive. Survival mode is what it's about. I'm joking.
Survival mode, that's mad.
Yeah.
Mad.
I feel like we don't realise that we're living on survival mode, and a lot of us are.
Unfortunately.
I've been surviving for years, isn't it?
No, but it's true. I agree with you, Mel. Like, I don't think I don't think we should be living survival mode, but the truth is
We are.
We are.
And we have to just-
a lot of us are.
100.
And now that's become normality. And the fact that it's become normal because it's been consistent throughout so many times, you think, oh, this is how it is. This is how it is. But then you ask yourself, why?
It's funny you said that. Do you think there's such thing as like generational grief?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
He's
Grief that gets passed
Yeah.
down.
He's awake now.
Man's been on Twitter recently.
But you know what's so bad? You man, I made my Twitter. You man made me make it. It's logged me out and I don't even know the password. So I just see the notifications. And
Yeah, you're like my fucking parent.
Like man just sees this and
Remember
that's
our spread.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
go ahead. Generational grief.
Well, yeah, of course, fam.
No, because I'm thinking like a lot of stuff like I don't know, like well probably our parents went through, like we kind of went through as well, or like we're going through now type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
Well, I think a lot of us are like our parents, whether we like it or not.
100%.
And like, let's say like, your parent is stubborn, yeah, and whatnot, and you can see that my mum or dad is just stubborn.
You're stubborn as well.
You're stubborn. The fact that you clash is because you're also stubborn. Do you know what I mean?
You're stubborn to the fact that you're stubborn as well.
Do you get it? Do you get it? And it's like, because the human brain is extremely intelligent. We learn so many things, especially as a child. We are sponges. Like, children absorb so many things. Obviously, I don't have children myself, but like, they learn so many things from the people around them and the things that they pick up, you know, and that's what the brain does. And then you realize you get to a certain age, you're like, why am I like this? And you think it's the second nature. These times, it's been sitting with you for years. You're like, why do I do like that? Or how your parent has even treated you, or the lack of treatment, or the over treatment. It could be different things, because you could have been sheltered so much you don't know how to share your emotions, or you could be neglected and then you shun away, or you could be out here and be reckless. Like, every action has a reaction. Do you know what I'm saying? So a lot of parents like to blame their children for their behavior, but ultimately, like, they're the ones that create it, isn't it?
No, facts, like that's what I mean. Like a lot of the ways my dad's been with just people in general, like it could be with females, could be with family. It's like how I am now. It's only a couple of years ago that I actually realised.
You deeply went, oh,
I'm actually like my dad's. I'm actually my dad's child. Like it's scary. Like you know what I mean,
bro, you doing it?
I'm actually my dad's. But you know, so mad. Like I love my dad, but I'm trying to avoid. Avoid like certain stuff because
each lineage is
I'm
supposed
not
to
to
improve.
talk business, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Like I'm not trying to. You know what I mean? So
I'm trying to go that way, that.
yeah, man.
It's true. No, it's facts, man.
It's mad still.
Right, it's facts.
Like even that, like my dad tried to get on to me about smoking the other day. I'm thinking, Dad, you get it? Like I've been like I've gone into your drawers trying to get money, and I've seen
Rizla and
weed and
everything,
that. You know what I mean, what if he's gonna expect like?
Yeah, it's true.
That's what a lot of our parents don't realize. You know what I mean? Especially like black parents. You know what I'm trying to say, but
They want better for you, but it's like you need to extremely lead from example. You know. And also they have to allow you to like flop the nest at the same time. Like, like not everything should be told. Some things you should actually experience. I think it's important sometimes to actually experience things, because if I say to you, you know, don't put your hand in fire, and I just constantly tell you that, you will know, but you won't actually know. That I saw this. There was this there's a theory. Basically, when they put monkeys in a cage, and like there's bananas, and they go up to get the bananas, and they beat them. They beat the first set of monkeys, and every time they just add new monkeys in and beat them, and then eventually, all the new monkeys are only left. And anytime a monkey would try to go up there, they'll beat them. But they realize none of the new monkeys has ever tried to go and get the banana. It's just because when they first came in that situation, they got beat. So it's like your parent will go through something and to say, you shouldn't do it like this, you shouldn't do it like this, and they ask them why, even if they haven't been through it themselves, but they blur the lines between culture, tradition, women shouldn't be like this, men should be like this, etc., in the Bible, etc. And they will start putting all these things, but you're asking the questions like, no, but generally, why? Have you experienced this? Some of them haven't. Yeah. But it's just, you know, pride, ego, insecurities, all these different things that they have, and they implement it, and you're like, I need to go and experience this myself. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, a parent was like someone would say to you, oh, Taz, you can't afford that. Yeah, you don't need it, you can't afford it. Yeah, it's a waste of money. To them, it's a waste of money. But you don't know my situation. Or even if it is, let me go and get it, and let me learn. Okay, how do I manage having this bottle? How do I manage, financially understanding? Okay, these are my priorities, but this is something I also want. How can I manage this? They don't want you to do those things. They're like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Then you'll just realize in my head, hold on, and then all of a sudden you will never drink a bottle of water in your whole life because. I'm using that as an analogy, but like you never, just because your parent or someone of importance in your life told you not to.
You can take the donkey to the water, but you can't make it drink.
There you go.
Right, say that.
Come on, Taz. Man, a few words.
Silently, and then you just come and add your 2 cents,
So talk to the people then. Taz.
There's different levels of grief as well, because, like, let's take it to losing someone close, and then obviously like losing, like for example, growing up in South, obviously we've all lost people, from a young age, innit? Like, for example, from secondary school. Not even secondary school, fam. Like, older brothers, friends, people around us. So from like primary school, fam, we've been seeing death, in a mad way. But I feel like losing a family member is completely different.
100%.
Like, and you don't deep it until that actually happens.
No, it's not over that. I think just losing. Like, imagine somebody proper personally. Because for me, like, for example, Robert weren't my family, but that I feel like I'm still feeling it because like man knew like man like from when I can call your phone or FaceTime you, or then like man knows you personally. So if I look you've lost like people, like you might have lost like a friend of a friend, like someone shit, like my man's dead, like shit, man. It's peak, but like you said earlier, you have to get on with life. But when it's somebody that you know personally, like
It's different.
Crazy.
Go to their yard, they go to your yard.
So obviously RIP Robert and stuff, and it was really tough. But for like you know Robert before us, 'cause you used to live in the same area as Robert and that. So like, how was that knowing someone from like, you know how like boys we create friendships in weird ways, like if you kicking ball or you just be playing out and you're like all of a sudden you become friends and etc. So like, how did knowing someone from a younger age where society hasn't stemmed expectations of how people should be, and then now losing a friend, how does that feel for you? Like how do you reflect on that?
Fam, it's just like, I don't even know, fam. Fuck, It's just like, when you just like used to see them from like a little youth, then like you just see them working and stuff like that. So the fact that you've seen them from like from such a young age, and like they've grown up doing their thing, getting on with their life, and then for them just to go out like that, it's just something you can't explain it, man.
I don't even think you can get used to that.
I don't think you can't get used to it.
That's just something you live with, because you can't actually get used to that feeling. That's
like I generally I don't think I can put into words still, because like when I knew that personally, you get like, man, like I even called him that day when Prince came. I'm thinking, what's going on, type of thing, innit? Because like it's Robert, like, do you get it? Obviously I know they moved out of London and that, so we didn't get to see them as much, but do you know what I mean? For years, like, I'll be on my balcony and see them going to their yard, type of thing. Do you get it? Type of thing, do you know what I mean? So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's mad. I mean, I can only imagine how Prince is feeling as well.
Yeah, man. It's tough. It's tough, man.
Literally.
And I feel like as well, like we was just saying the other day, like, life is mad. Like, how is this all happening kind of all at one time, or like one kind of like blurred period of time?
There hasn't been a break, bro.
It ain't been a break, bro. It's been like
from
month
the beginning
after
of the
month.
year. There hasn't been a break.
Yeah.
It's a scary thought. Do you know what I mean? What was that? Yeah. So that Taz, like, obviously you lost your grandmother, and condolences as well. When you was like at the funeral and you were speaking and stuff, like, how was that moment for you? Because now, like, dealing with grief is one thing, but then speaking about it in front of people who know them possibly many different ways as well, and that's like your nan as well. Like, how was that moment for you, man? Because I remember me and Max was just like, oh fuck, man. Like we was literally hand in heart, just like, oh,
like, I couldn't look, bro. Like, I couldn't look. I'll be real with you, I couldn't look.
It was really hard to watch. How was that moment for you?
bro, it was great. Like, even to think about it, yeah, like I don't remember, fam, because it happened, but it happened so quick. It was like 1 minute I'm up there, yeah, the next minute I'm walking off the thing. But obviously I've got up there, started speaking. I don't even think I lasted speaking for like 5 seconds in the beginning. But obviously I had my little nephew there, yeah, and you lot couldn't hear him, but in my ear, yeah, he was like, "Uncle, come on, you got this." So it's only because of him why I probably finished it. But yeah, it was a mad thing still. Yeah. Like, but I also knew that I had to finish it, and I know that obviously I did my nan proud. She grabbed all the mandem and brought us church. That was all that she wanted for us all to go church at one time. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, man, it was nice, man. But after the funeral, it's like a big weight has been lifted off your shoulders. Like it feels obviously, that day is so draining. Like I don't think you understand. Like fam, you're crying from morning till God knows when. Tired. So you're just drained. Like it's so long, but at the end of it, you feel good because obviously you've said your goodbyes properly. Everyone around you's just been so supportive. In general, it's just been a nice day. Like considering the circumstances, it's unfortunate that we have saying bye to someone, but on that day, fam, you see people that you haven't seen in years. It's so good to see you right now. Like just seeing how everyone's evolving and moving on with life. It's good to see, but like I said,
I totally agree with you, because I think even with me, when like I had when I found out and then I was having to plan a 9-night, bro, for a good 10 days my head was hot, like super hot, like where you can't, like there's one point where I cried for like 10 hours straight on a Saturday. Like I went to work and then I came home around 3 o'clock, and from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to like 1 a.m. I was just bawling in my bed. I didn't move, I didn't eat, I forgot to eat. That's why it was 1:40 and I went to McDonald's, fam. That's the only reason why I know what the time is, because I was like, snap, I didn't eat. Do you know what I mean? And it's like you do go through these emotions, and then obviously on Friday night, 2 nights ago, was a 9-night, and like everyone was there and they're telling me stories about, oh yeah, I met him when we went to Portugal together. I know him from school when he was 8 years old, and all these kind of things. And you're like, raw, like you're hearing stories of life that you've never got to experience yourself. And it's beautiful because you see how much people they touched. Like the fact that like your nan used to give sweets to the kids like in schools, and
my nan used to listen outside. My nan used to come to the primary school gates. And
even that, I swear down on my snap that day when I put on your nan to your brother, I swear down at least 3 people messaged me like, "Raw, you know, I go to that church." Like,
Nan's a hood legend.
No, but that's beautiful because it shows that these people that we care about left an effect on the whole community, and it's like, I'm glad that you can share that, because honestly, I agree with you. Like, I had to go around the corner like during the night and just stand there and just breathe, like just focus on breathing for 5 minutes straight, because it's like so overwhelming that people come to you and condolences and all these things, and nice, but your head is just and
you see even that, you see when people are saying like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," like it's so that obviously I appreciate it, but what can I say, bro? Like obviously say thank you.
I smile and say thank you.
Obviously you can say thank you, but like what can I really say? Like, it's bad.
One thing I must say that people like we all need to. I'm sure everyone's family's like, I'm sure everyone's family's like this, but it's like, why do we always see each other when it's
I was literally thinking
why, like, do you know also I know a girl, and then what's her name? Fucking hell, what's her name?
Hold on, Max.
Oh, was he sharing?
Hold on, you didn't share the text with me.
Is this MTM or is this MM?
Hold on, how can
let's give them a moment.
I said that with my chest as well. I hate you.
What's the time on the pod right now?
Time on the pod now, we're keeping it in, mate. It's fucking 33 minutes. What the
hell
are we doing?
Sorry guys.
I forgot what I was going to say now.
Sorry guys.
The truth. I forgot what I was going to say.
You look, Max had it ready.
I had it. I forgot.
Sorry,
man. This is Melissa's fault.
That was my fault.
See?
You're
talking about why do we only see each other?
We need to stop doing that, man.
Yeah, we do. But again, do you feel like that's because of the Western society that we live in?
It's not even a Western society, fam.
Yeah, like, people
have lives, you know.
Yeah, like I'm actually happy not seeing people. I'm good.
Not
like that. I mean, like that whole idea of not only at me. I want to see you at Christmas. I want to see you at holidays. That's what holidays are designed for. Because I can't lie, I like to be doing my own thing. You know, and I don't think it's selfish for people to want to do that. I think it's
every now and then I
frowned
think
upon.
but I
feel like, okay, yeah, I don't have to see you every week to know that you're good in it. Like, for example, I don't see you lot every day. I don't see you lot every week.
Yeah.
But whenever we do link up, it's the same love that's been there.
But
for
do you think though
however
that's
many years.
because we've made that connection where it's like it's essentially unbreakable?
No, but I'm talking for myself in it because I've got that with couple people in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it depends on the relationship as well. Everyone's, like I said, everyone's different. Some people need to be around people all the time. Some people prefer to be on their own.
Do you think you're an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm turning into an introvert still.
I think I'm a bit of both around the. I think I'm a bit of both. Depends on who I'm around. I am a very. My introvert or extrovertness will come from the vibe or the spirit.
So essentially, someone tried to make it simpler for me. So they said, if you're an introvert, do you get drained when you are interacting with loads of people, or if you're an extrovert, you get fueled by being around other people?
Yeah. But I'm a bit of both. That's the thing.
I'm bipolar, bro, because sometimes I don't want to be around no one. Sometimes I don't want to be around you lot, if I'm totally honest with you. But sometimes, bro, what's going on, man? Why you see man for a minute, fam? What's going on? Yeah, but that could be in the same day.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say? So I don't know.
Good luck to your relationships, boy.
Trust me. No, but that's why I'm single.
But it's important that you said that, though. Yeah. It's important that you said that because a lot of men are like that, but a lot of men trust their women. So once you're in a relationship and you find who it is that you're meant to be with, you'll be good, and you'll open up as well to your friends. You'll open up to other people because you'll find ways to deal with that.
But I think also, not to go off a tangent, but I think like men do need a man cave. Like you need a man you can love your woman, and people trust her everything. But there's actually times I actually need to be alone.
100%.
And in that man cave, I need to have a bed as well in that man cave.
That's a man cave, like the whole because also your testosterone. You need to keep your testosterone. You need to, you know. So.
But then again, you see me. I'll be honest with you. Like you see, when I'm personally anyway, like I prefer to be around my girl than the man more time.
But that's normal. That's a normal thing.
If you're not like this, Tax is annoying.
Hey, listen, there's nothing now, man. Now I'm saying.
Why is Max calling me so charming?
You know, so nice. You know the gossiping out with your girl. No, we all do it.
Yeah.
We all do it. Am I lying? We all do it. We all do it. We all do it.
So charming.
You know today,
we all do it, fam.
So you don't do pillow talk, yeah?
Listen, every person does it. Don't make people say they don't pillow talk. Everyone does it.
100%.
I know for a fact there's been a time when Monts has told his ex or whatever, you know, Max is a...
I can't you all
the way he laughs, best us.
Max knows I hate him anyways.
I'm not with you all the time. Yeah, exactly. All the time. Yeah.
But I feel like that's a true display of love, love in a relationship. You should be able to,
open,
100%.
Yeah, like the first thing you want to do is go around and tell your girl, like,
100.
Yeah, it's true.
But the important thing is that you can have a conversation like this and admit that.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's
where the love comes from. Yeah,
and that's why I love these men a lot, because we are scarily, I don't even know if that's a word, but scarily the same, and it frightens
scary still
all the time.
Do you feel like you're the same, but you display it in different ways?
I was having this conversation with someone as well, like I could be in the room with them, like they could be doing stuff out of the store, like look at this fucking thing. You know, he knows what he's doing, type of thing. And they can do the same thing.
And like we all know,
the best thing is, we know what they're gonna do before they even do it.
Yeah.
So do you have a moment that you guys have shared that?
Yeah,
like,
all the time. Every time we link up, you probably even done it today without even realizing.
All the time.
That is funny.
All the time, like it's just in sync, and it just makes me go like, you know what, like that's why when we come to each other for advice, I could always it is actually nice because it's like your conscience talking to you. Like it's genuinely like your conscience talking to you. And also we all know who's gonna say what more. Like
that's why you go to who you go to.
So when you're like, I got him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like it's like having the devil and the angel on your shoulders.
I'm the angel. You see with me, I'm the friend. Yeah, I'm the type of friend. I'm brutally honest.
Yeah, Mike's very brutal.
Yeah, like because you see me, I'm just I can't.
Do you not want to come to advice?
I don't know if this is a court stuff. I say how it is.
If I go to Mel,
you get it. I say how it is.
Yeah, you two are very brutally honest.
I just say how it is.
You are. I try to be level-headed.
Yeah, he's like but.
You know, I try to look at different sides.
No, but I feel like when he does give you the truth, it means more because I know you struggled. Not even struggled, but you,
It just, you know,
I don't give a fuck.
I thought about that shit. It's true. It's true.
I feel like that's a blessing and a curse, though.
Yeah, man.
Cause you see more time, the man come to me with advice in it, but the stuff that come to me is like. Nigga, like you wanna do it, so let's do it. Don't like you know, honest to God, yeah. I'm gonna say this to the Mandem, yeah. Don't come to me with certain stuff. Just do it, cause you already know what's gonna happen. You get it? Just do it.
You know, yeah. When you speak to Mike, he looks at you like this. He just goes. You know your answer already.
Yeah,
so
like you've come to me because
you're asking me. You already know.
Yeah, you asking me is like your mind's already made up.
Your mind's already made up. And you're trying to do logic.
You want confirmation.
Yeah, you're trying to do. No, but you know.
More time. Just do it. Just don't tell the Mandem. That's what you have to do. Trust me.
That's another good thing. Do you feel like, as friends, it's okay for you to have your own secrets?
Yeah.
As people in general, do you feel like there should be anyone that knows everything about you?
No.
Because there's some stuff that I'm taking to the grave.
Yeah, there's that.
And I can imagine that them stuff for you are some dumb shit, bro.
I'm taking some shit to the grave.
I don't know. There's things that, like, see where Taz is in life, yeah. I know he really stumbled to get where he is in life because I know Taz has gone through some.
Hey, can I just say the biggest? No. I can say this one. Because this was one of the funniest.
Bro, I know what you're going to say.
The car thing. Yeah! I don't know if you don't seen it. I think it was our first couple
one
pods.
of our first episodes. Go back and watch it, yeah?
Let me give you an example. Last year, man crashed the rental. No, man.
You need to bring this up.
I didn't know this. I didn't know this.
Last year, man.
I didn't know this.
Wait, hold on a minute.
So that's
what? Do you need peas? Like, are you alright?
Do I need peas?
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
That's why last year was moving bare tight. It makes sense.
Hey, wait, I need to know. Hey, he last year, yeah? Bro.
Hey, do you remember? We're getting off topic, man.
No, I'm so sorry. This episode we've got.
Wait. Going back, tell the people them.
I remember last year when it comes to Figgy's birthday, that we was out shopping. I like Taz is probably itching. Like,
we went
for the J's.
We went in flannels. We went in bear shots. He's like,
hey, the man went in the bear shot. Hey, you see when Emma went to the flannels? I said, "For fuck." I said, hey, because I literally crashed the whip like a week and a half before we went flannels, bro. I swear to God. Bro, I was stressed. So I'm thinking, the man was trying to make me
this is why mental health is important because you need to be sharing this information. We're all chilling. Taz tells us he's had a car crash before. We've known Taz all our entire life.
And he's never told us about car crash.
He's like, yeah, I crashed the rental. I tried to hop out. I'm thinking, what's going on? We were tackling because it's like, we really don't, like, even Mike said it the other day, he's like, I don't know my friends.
Yeah, no. Actually, before you just said that, I actually thought to myself, yeah, when he said I'll take it to the grave, I thought, don't you ever have those times where Taz just told you a random thing in the middle of conversation, you're like, when the fuck did you do that?
No, bad times.
You'll be telling me something and I'm like...
Taz is very secretive.
I think out of all of us, I think Taz is the most secretive.
Taz is the most secretive. Taz is the most.
Like, him, I'm the most open.
No. You think I'm the most secretive? I think he is.
No, I think
he lives a double life. Don't mind this one. This one. He lives a double life.
If you ask him, he will tell you.
Yeah.
What man, you have to pressure him.
Yeah, 100. And sometimes you might beat around the bush. Like, you got to...
The maddest thing is, Monts will know that we know the answer, but still still lie.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Yeah,
No, I play you at your own game. You know that I know that you know that you know the answer. So why are you asking me? That's the why.
Because we want you to know that we know, but we want you to say the answer.
Yeah, but you're supposed to.
We want the answer.
Like, how do you expect us to protect you in certain things?
Listen. We protect each other regardless of the situation. You know that I know that you know that I know. So let's just, ask a question.
What I'm saying, just be honest with the mandem sometimes.
100.
That's
Taz is the most secretive. Taz is the most, like, you could even ask
Life is a
Taz.
happy life,
Taz is so secretive, yeah. It wouldn't even consider your mind that it's happening to him.
No, fact.
That's how mad it is.
I don't know. I think I used the reverse.
Taz is super secretive.
No, he is.
Like, you won't know what's going on with Taz. You know,
But I feel like I know important stuff, and that's what matters, I guess.
Yeah, you know what you need to know.
Yeah, 100. And that can vary between your friends, by the way. That doesn't mean you love them any less. That can vary between your friends.
Like,
they know they can't come to me with certain stuff because
more than anything, you two especially know everything.
He's worse than me, though. He's worse than me.
Even Mel.
Because you know what I don't like. You confounding this guy on a random day, you're chilling. You just say it.
He'll make it the group chat display picture or
and
something.
I'm like, but he'll do it so subtly that no one else will clock. But you're just like, you're a dickhead.
No,
You're a dickhead. You're a dickhead.
Top tier, like super top tier dickhead. And he's just like, but no one else will clock because it's subliminal.